It's been a minute since I made a YouTube video. Your boy's been a little busy recently. So I thought, what better way to come back to YouTube than to give you all some more useless information. Y'all know the deal by now. If this video gets 1,500 likes, I will make another useless information video. So if you watch this video and you like it, like it. In Origins, if you throw a G-strike grenade while a robot is coming through, you'll see that the missiles actually come from the back of the robot. This also happens with the Dragon Strike on Garad Krovi. When you activate the Dragon Strike, a dragon will fly to you and rain fire on the ground. On BO2, if you damage a zombie and then run away from it, it'll despawn. This applies to everything in BO2 except for one thing and one thing only. And that one thing is going to the witch's house on Buried. If you damage a zombie or make a crawler, anything like that, and go to the witch's house, he will respawn on the other side. In Alpha Omega's boss fight, when you're talking to the Avogadro before the boss fight starts, you can actually shell bash him to damage your shield. In Horizon Drac, if you cook a grenade while you're using the Wonder Sphere, the game will use the grenade but it won't explode. I should also say that if you want to do this in your game for whatever reason, someone else needs to buy the Wonder Sphere for you. Otherwise, it won't be possible to cook the nade in time. In BO3 Origins, if you jump on the tank's wheels and keep running, your screen will glitch out. Horizon Drac is the only map in Black Ops 3 to have a cartoon-style intro cutscene. The DSR has a scope on the Iron Sight version of it when it's floating in the Pack-a-Punch machine. In Revelations, you can't leave the Apothicant's stomach while you're holding a death machine. This next piece of info is for all the masochists out there. Next time you play BO2 Plutonium, and this might go for other games on Plutonium like BO1, World of War, but I didn't test them, but feel free to try it. But you can enter the command R_Fulbright1 to make everything in the game extremely bright. Like, this is so hard on your eyes, it's not even funny. And also, if you want to take this one step further, you can pair this command with the R_Fog0 command on Transit, and with these two commands, you can play an extremely cursed game of Transit. In World of War Zombies, if you use the FG42 with a high field of view, you'll see that the game doesn't load in the back half of the gun, for some reason. On Black Ops 3 Origins, if you use turned on a Templar zombie, he'll run for the normal zombies, but he won't be able to attack them. Now, I don't know for sure, but if I were to guess, it's probably because the Templar zombie gets confused when he's turned, and doesn't know if he should prioritize attacking the generator or attacking the zombies. If you go to the diner on Transit, you can hear the map's loading screen music being played in the radio. In Horizon Drac, the drops don't spawn in the trams until you enter the tram fuse. This also goes for the second gondola. In Shadows of Evil, if you go near the waterfront table and stay there, the zombies will drop down this ledge to get to you. However, in the last gen version of Shadows of Evil, the zombies will actually climb down this ladder to get to you. This right here is one of the only last gen BO3Ws. In the tutorial for Black Ops 4 Zombies, you can knife this door to open a secret room. In this room is a free Zweinhander. This is pretty funny because the next thing the announcer wants you to do is buy the MOG, and when he tells you to buy it, he'll say this:
"You really should grab that weapon. You won't last long with just a pistol."
And also, in the next section of the tutorial, they'll take his Zweinhander away. Alright, this is Joltz from the future, and I have something to add to this. In the tutorial, they make you buy the MOG off the wall. If you trade out the Welling for the MOG and not the Zweinhander, you will soft lock your game. In the tutorial mode. Good job, BO4. Good job.
Welcome. Time to learn what's new
Huh?
in Zombies mode in Black Ops 4. Let's talk
What the
about
hell is going on?
common men-
I'm just hitting constant death barriers. Okay, so for context, I have a DLL file in my BO4 that allows me to fast restart in-game. Apparently, that fast restart glitches out tutorial mode, because I'm just dying over and over again. I can't. Get me out of here. In Tagder Toten, the amount of times you need to use the flinger at the facility to unlock the heat pack parts is dependent on how many players there are in the game. So for example, on solo, you just need to land on each box once to unlock the parts, but in a 4-player game, you'll need to land on each box 4 times to get the parts. What I'm about to go over isn't useless information, but I figured I could just put this in here regardless. Y'all wouldn't care, right? As most of you know, there is a system in BO3 Zombies to trade out gobblegums for better ones. And of course, it's called Newton's Cookbook. Well, did you know that the gobblegums in the Newton's Cookbook aren't random, and it actually cycles through the same deals over and over again? Yes, I'm serious about this. If you want the full spreadsheet for it, Here it is. Just match up whatever today's deals are in your game to where it is on the spreadsheet and work your way down from there. In Ancient Evil, if you throw Wraith Fires on a statue near Hemera Shrine, they will disappear immediately. And it's not because they're being thrown out of bounds either, because when you throw a Wraith Fire out of bounds, it stays there for the normal duration, so I don't know why this happens. If you buy ammo for a Strife with no ammo in it, the slide will stay cocked back until you either fire it again or sprint. On Buried, you can use the well in the maze to get below spawn. But I mean, everybody knows this, right? But did you know that it's actually possible to get down here without ever leaving the spawn room? If you dolphin dive exactly where I do, after enough tries you'll be able to get down here. Most of the time when you do this, you will hit a death barrier pretty fast, but for some reason, I didn't have a death barrier when I did this in my game. The Drak originally had a slightly different name than it does now. Let's travel back in time real quick. On December 5th, 2015, Activision Communications Manager Scott Lowe posted a blog on Activision's website talking about DLC 1 for Black Ops 3. He showed off the 4 multiplayer maps and he also showed, quote, the next chapter in the Black Ops 3 zombie saga, Der Eisendrachen. Yep. That's right, Der Eisendrache was originally supposed to be called Der Eisendrachen. The reason why they changed this is because native German speakers on the zombie subreddit and everywhere else online were pointing out that Der Eisendrachen doesn't actually translate to the Iron Dragon, which is what they were going for, but rather it translates to the Iron Kite, which doesn't make that much sense. This caused a lot of controversy as to what the map was actually going to be called. So a few days later, on December 11th, 2015, Activision updated the website and changed the name to Der Eisendrache. But since they changed the name of the map so close to its release, they didn't change any of the assets in the map with the old name on it. Therefore, around the map you can find posters that have the old name on it. And real quick, before we move on to the next thing, I gotta rant about this real quick. That piece of information that I just went over took me over an hour of research to do, digging and digging in the internet to try and find it, because for some stupid reason, Activision closes their blogs like 3-4 months after they publish them. And finding old blogs and old pictures on Activision's website is borderline impossible. The only way I was even able to access this was thanks to the Wayback Machine. If it wasn't for that, who knows what I would have done. I ran into this problem before in this series when I went over the Black Ops 4 BOAS system and also the old Origins trailer, and there's probably more that I'm forgetting. But my point is, this company is worth $69 billion. They can afford to keep their blogs published. Okay, ran over. Back to the video. In Blood of the Dead's outro, we free all the spirits trapped inside the zombies in Alcatraz. However, in Tagger Toten's intro cutscene, both the zombies and the warden are back. Somehow. In BO3 Origins, if you walk in and out of the fire tunnel, you can see an abrupt lighting change. This also happens on Shadows of Evil. If you go back and forth on these stairs in the Waterfront District, you will see another abrupt lighting change. And speaking of Shadows of Evil's trailer came out on July 5th, 2015, almost 4 months before this map released. Because of this, there were a lot of things in this trailer that were changed before the map released. I went through this trailer frame by frame and I'm pretty sure I got everything, but in the off chance that I missed something, let me know down below in the comments. So right away, if we take a side-by-side comparison here, you can see a lot of tiny differences, like the Ruby Rabbit not having any lights in it and this lamp being invisible. But I'm not going to go over the super minute details, we're just going to go over the significant changes. Like for example, the chain trap was in a different location. As you can see in the trailer, it's on the right side of this bridge, but in the final version of the map, they moved it around the corner. Also, they had a much uglier model for the chain trap. I'm glad they changed it because this ain't it. In the next set of shots, they show all the signs in the Footlight District and some of them were changed. On the right side of the screen in the trailer, there is a cafe sign. This sign was replaced with another sign that says "Silence is Golden Photography." Right above it in the trailer is a sign that says Cola something. I don't know because it was also replaced with another sign. This sign being a red Devil-O Donut sign. A few seconds later, you can see Jackie using the Bloodhound, but when he shoots it, you'll hear a different gun being shot instead of the Bloodhound. Yeah, for some reason they used the MR6's sound as a placeholder, and oh my god, this is so triggering to me, it's not even funny. Additionally, when they made this trailer, I guess they didn't have the rift portals done yet either, because in this shot, you can see behind Jackie is just a nondescript wall with an arched outline, and not the rift portals. At the 28-second mark in the trailer, the crew is outside of the boxing gym, and you can actually see a gobblegum machine here. I think I'd prefer the gobblegum machines being at the point of interest instead of just the tram stations, because that's so out of the way anymore, it's not even funny. At the 45-second mark, you can see a very old version of the machine to call in the Civil Protector. I am so glad they changed this because this one is so ugly. A few seconds later, you can see a packed KN-44 with the Giant's Pack-a-Punch camo. So it's safe to say that they didn't have the Pack-a-Punch camo ready yet for Shadows. Either that, or they wanted to keep all the Mob of the Dead connections a secret until launch. I don't know. It's hard to tell with Treyarch. But in this same shot, you can see a mystery box location in the Burlesque. Additionally, this is the normal Ether box and not the Cthulhu version that's normally in Shadows. Around halfway through the trailer, you can see Floyd using the bootlegger, and for some reason, it has the VMP's firing sound. This next piece is pretty interesting. They show a clip of Nero talking when he's using the shield, but they cut to a third-person shot to show that it's actually Floyd using it. Also, when he charges, the sound effect that plays is when the Pack-a-Punch moves on Call of the Dead and Tag Der Toten.
The shield is quicker than the eye.
When they reveal the Gobblegum machine, you can see that there are red, white, and yellow Gobblegums. Also, you can see a much darker green Gobblegum too. There was also a Gobblegum machine near the entrance to the Ruby Rabbit, but again, this one was changed. In the next couple shots, we can see that Burned Out was originally a red Gobblegum, and also, I'm Feeling Lucky was an ultra rare gum. Why? And finally, the VMP was a walleye in the Footlight District, but in the actual map, the Vesper is in its place. If you guys would like to see other trailer breakdowns like this in future episodes, to see what all has changed since the trailer to release, let me know down below in the comments. But before we move away from the trailer talk, I got one more to show you, and it's pretty funny. In Zetsubo Noshima's gameplay trailer, you can see a placeholder map near Lab A. What makes this really funny is that the entire map here is in English, not Japanese. At least Richtofen will be okay, you know. Since
I don't speak Japanese.
Alright, that was a lie. This will be the final one we go over in this video. In Blood of the Dead cinematic trailer, the catwalk is closed, then after a very quick camera cut, the catwalk is open. And also, later on in the trailer, Richtofen is on the roof, but the door is closed. For a few months during BO3's life cycle, there was a pretty weird bug that would happen. When you would shoot a horde of zombies with dead wire and then pull out your Apothecant servant, the zombies would get sucked into a non-existent Apothecant shot. 5 gets darker after you turn on the power than it is before you turn on the power. How does that make sense? Dempsey lied about wearing underwear. In Moon, Dempsey says this.
Nikolai, phew, that dude's reeking. I don't think he was kidding about his underwear. Me? I go commando, baby.
But in Alpha Omega, he says this.
This says property of Tank Dempsey, just like my underwear.
In Exo Zombies, the IMR will slowly reprint ammo in your reserve, so technically, it has infinite ammo. In a previous video, I talked about how in Shadows of Evil, you could randomly get a tram to go double speed. And in that video, I said I didn't know how to do it, but I figured it out now. This only works the first time in the game you ride the tram, and to do it, you'll need to get out of spawn without opening the spawn door. This can easily be done by strafing off of this car in beast mode and unlocking the stairs. Then go to the canal district and see if the tram is here. If it's not here, then you'll have to restart. But if the tram is at canals, go in it and ride it to go double speed. This happens because the tram is programmed to go fast when you first buy the spawn door at the beginning of the game. But since you never bought the spawn door and we got out of spawn without opening the spawn door, it didn't have a chance to go double speed yet. A couple months ago, I made an updated Outbreak Easter egg guide. It's a really great guide with amazing tips and every part location for every map. So if you're a Cold War fan, check it out. Links in the description. It's the best guide you'll find on this platform. Shameless plug over. And while I was making this guide, I learned some useless information about Outbreak. So this next segment is just gonna be useless information I learned about Outbreak. First, when you're in the jellyfish, if you try to use your grappling hook, the game will try to use it, but you will be stuck in the jellyfish. You can also use the grappling hook on the Legion. You can use Ether Shroud to teleport through the walls in the silo. This is useless because unless you're a speedrunner, you shouldn't be wasting your Ether Shroud on saving 10 seconds of time. When doing one of the 2 canister challenges, whether it's retrieve or transport, if you drop the canister when it's 95% complete, it'll accept the canister but also drop it on the ground. Because of this, you just duplicated the canister so you can enter both canisters by technically only using one. That part's not useless, you can use that next time you play Outbreak. But the useless part comes with the fact that if you do it this way, the second ether canister that the game gives you will stay in the map and you can't pick it back up. Even though it gives you the prompt to pick it up, you still can't pick it up. It is unfortunately locked on the ground here. And staying with these challenges, when Outbreak first released, you could originally spin while depositing the canisters, but for some reason, they patched it so now you can't. When you drive off a cliff with PhD, your vehicle will make an explosion upon landing. The zombies can't path to the elevator on Ruka. video. Additionally, all zombies that are near the elevator will instantly die when you start the elevator. This was in a previous video, but I might as well cover it again. You can stand on an invisible ledge in the elevator to skip the ride. The monkey statues for the microfilm slides spawn in on round 1, but the projector for the microfilm slides won't spawn in until you contact maxes. If you go down in the water on Armada, you will instantly die. Even if you have a revive, you will still instantly die. Also on Armada, the ray gun doesn't have an animation when you aim down sight and shoot it in the water. In the holdout objective, you can stand on the barriers. Additionally, on release, you could abuse the mantling system to get out of the map. A lot of people did this to cheese the holdouts on high rounds, and also explore the Dark Ether version of the map. Unfortunately though, it was patched. When you fish in Outbreak, the radio will play you random songs from Buried. And finally, if you spawn in with the DLC weapon, when you ride in on the helicopter, your character won't be holding the DLC weapon, but instead will be holding the Krig 6. And that was useless information I learned about Outbreak. And there was all the useless information I have for you in this video. Thank you all so much for watching, I really do appreciate it. Like I said at the beginning, we hit 1,500 likes on this video, I will make another useless information video. But in the meantime, if you want more useless info, click this card on the screen right now to go watch all of the useless information videos that I have made. Shout out to all of my members. Thank you all so much for supporting me. I really do appreciate it. If you guys want to become a member, get shouted out at the end of every video, custom badges, members only videos, and more. You can do so by clicking the first link in the description or by clicking the join button next to my channel name. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.